Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, whenever you're joining us for this brief lecture on consolation and desolation. Now, the fundamental thing we need to remember as we're discussing consolation and desolation is that God constantly speaks to us. And that speech is we use speech here as a metaphor. Most of us don't actually hear a voice in our head, but we have ways of knowing what God is about and how God is helping us. And God speaks usually to us through our interior thoughts and feelings. When we can have this in all kinds of ways, right? When sitting in a forest and we have that feeling of tranquility or peace as we listen to the wind rustling through the leaves, or maybe going to a spa and feeling relaxed and cared for and all warm and cozy. Or it could be something, or we have these feelings of consolation when we're with a lover. We feel special and wonderful that somebody wants us both romantically and intimately. And so we have these feelings all the time, and we can use them to find our way to God. And we call these consolations when these feelings of hope and love lead us to an understanding of God and of ourselves. So, if I'm in the forest, and not only am I experiencing the serenity of that forest, but if I'm feeling then that serenity leads me to contemplating the creation, God's love for us, that feeling then becomes consoling when it connects us to God. Or when those feelings of love and care make us think about how much God is working for us and how lovingly and caring God is for us. Those feelings can lead us to feelings of consolation. Or when we think about our lover and how much, and in the expression of human love, we think about how much greater God's actual love for us can be. And other things can make us feel too, and these things are not necessarily good. These things are usually not good things, but they can mimic feelings of consolation, right? We can feel that sense of belonging if we're in a gang. Right? You can feel tranquil or blissed out if you're on drugs. Or you can have those feelings that mimic the feelings of being in love when using things like pornography. But these things we have to understand these thoughts and feelings and where they come from and what their source is. So, the first way is consolation, that is moving towards our feelings of God. And God is always present and saving us. And because we believe that God, as Christians, we believe that God is always present, we can feel that presence in many different ways. And those feelings are largely four. We can feel overwhelmed by a sense of God's love. We can also this feeling of consolation drawing us to God can make us feel sad because we can become aware of our own sinfulness and how much we are not God and how imperfect we are compared to God's loving perfection. We can also, thirdly, have an increase in what we call the cardinal virtues, the ideas of faith, hope, and love. And when our feelings lead us to that can be a sign that we are in consolation. And finally, we can find those feelings of inner peace and stillness. And I have to confess that most of my own experience of consolation is in this fourth set, a feeling of inner peace and of stillness. But not only can we move towards God, we can move away from God. And we call that movement away from God desolation. And fundamentally, desolation is the opposite of feeling consolation. Right? We somehow feel there's an upsetness, an unsettledness in us that can be caused by all kinds of different things, right? When we believe that human beings are created to love and serve God, and so when we are not doing that, that churns and messes with our fundamental nature. Some people feel this as agitation, that they're always angry or on edge, or these feelings that can fall into a depressive state where life can feel meaningless, and we never can feel the absence of God's love. But because God is God, even when we are in desolation, God is still present within us and at work. Desolation can actually be a good thing because it can help us recognize areas for growth. Are we selfish? Are we being too tepid? Or are we not taking our faith seriously enough? And those feelings of desolation can actually lead us to growth in our understanding of ourselves and God. Desolation can also be a source of fortitude. Christ was tempted in the desert, on the cross. Christ felt the absence of God when he was going through certain trials, and yet he persisted. And that feeling of desolation can actually help strengthen our faith, because we know we don't need always those lovey-dovey, warm and fuzzy feelings from God every second of every day in order to stay faithful to our own commitments. And so, what to do? Our next assignment for you is to push you through and see, what does consolation or desolation look like to you. You'll be looking at some articles, and you'll be picking areas that mimic the feelings that you think about based on your current understanding of consolation and desolation. This is not a perfect assignment. Consolation may change today or tomorrow. You might have how you feel consolation today, or how you feel desolation today will change as you grow, and it's something you have to constantly come back to. But this can be a good place to start. Good luck, and thanks so much for joining us.